Hello, everybody. Hold on. I don't even have a headset on. I'm terrible. All righty. Let me get back to. You know what? I got a screen here that's in my way. I had my stuff on, so. Hey, there I go. I can see a picture now. Let's get that. All right, give me a second here because if you're in the Discord, you know I bought a new phone this week. Yeah, I got the new Z Fold Galaxy. There, I got the big one, the 512 gig hard drive in this bad boy. I've been using it for this week, and I still don't have everything moved over like I want to. And I still got the S10, I still got the S20, and I got stuff scattered everywhere here, so that's kind of a pain in the ass, right? So what I'm trying to do, wait a minute, which phone am I got in my hand? Is I'm trying to log into my account on the S10. The S10 is still, well, until I got the Z Fold, the S10 was better than the S20. But I did a software update on the S10 and it's been different. And I somehow put a swipe pattern into the phone that I can't seem to turn off. That's kind of a pain in the ass. Locate app. Move that to the home screen. I was trying to log in with my Google thing while in the Samsung Dex because I had it all set up to shoot. And then Google kept asking me for a pattern, and you can't do that on the Dex, so it won't let me log into my game. Account, switch account, sign in with Google. Settings, accounts, switch accounts, and Google. Make sure I don't talk out loud while I'm putting in my email and password. I use a randomized email because I'm so public. And I use a randomized password, so I got to look it up every time because I actually don't write it down. I reset it so that there's no place to get it stolen from on any of my devices, thus creating a other type of security issue. Oh. There we go. Yes, I'm in. I agree. And get logged in my account. We got to turn off all that noise, huh? So I for the start of the new year, I've been going through all my stuff and my S10 device that I use to show you guys. I wiped and reloaded it. I actually wipe and reload this thing about once every 3-4 months, and then you got to go set stuff up again. Simply because, okay. It's a security issue. Security is a falsehood. And drop out of alliance. Oh, I gotta kill the noises. Why are you bebopping at me? See, that music is registered to Guns of Glory, to Fun Plus, right? I mean, if you wanted to eliminate, if the NAACP wanted to eliminate the N word from the English language, put a music royalty on it and turn it over to YouTube. You'll never hear it again. The the YouTube software that tracks every word I say, everything we play, everything we do, is so over the top and out of control. They act like lawyers are constantly listening for music that's getting played. Now, the music industry may say, yep, we'll take your free money, because Google's going to turn around and say, oh, we found the song that was played by Sony. Sony, would you like all the money? 100% of the money we were going to pay that guy, we're going to pay you. Make sure you do a concert for us next year. That kind of stuff. All right. The music royalty business. From back in my days when I did the gun stuff, I learned a lot about who's in charge of what in this world. Uh, there's no gangsters in charge of guns, but fishing tackle, the mafia's involved. Musical instruments that your kids play, yeah, you're not putting in a music store without playing with the mob. You want to go find your local lob connection? Go down to a music store that sells a brass instrument, trumpets, horns, flutes. You ain't getting that without dealing with the mob some way, somehow. I don't know if this is just left over from the Sinatra days or what. It just is. Uh, okay, so launch. Yes, restart. Start again. And of course, the Samsung DeX is not doing what it's supposed to. There we go. Done. There we are. All right. So that's the DeX. So I scheduled a live event. Honestly, I don't know how to. I should be able. See, this is different. Google, YouTube changed its screens up. It's not the same as it was. Okay, that shows me it's live. I've been talking to you. Got 8 viewers. I just can't. I got to get to you. I can't see where you're at right now. Edit view on YouTube. That is not what I want to view on YouTube. Oh, great. That's awesome. Just send me an ad. What if I go to analytics? Nope. We don't want that either. Go create. Go live. If it starts another freaking live, manage. There we go. That's what I want to do. Now I can see you. All right. Jim, how's it going? Call me Miscree. Call me Escree. Tough Morehouse. Doug Morehouse. Hold on, I can't see that far up. See, guys, I'm stretching my head up here. Okay. I got some house cleaning to do this week because man, my bad month of January. Just doesn't seem to end at all. So let me go to Discord. And let's go in here. Hey, there you go. Discord showing. Okay. Let's grab the shared link for that. You guys want to join the Discord chat? It is in the description. Do like and subscribe. I am trying to inflate my ego quite a bit and basically reach the 10,000 mark so that I can sell t-shirts on YouTube. That's the only reason. I don't know what. I'm just gonna. People are good at hiding resources during the kill stage. Well, why should they be bad at it? I don't understand the fairly obvious statement of don't lose your shit. Okay. But I'm not going to get distracted with that right now. I got some house cleaning to do. Okay. Guys, Rogers Raiders. I put in there I got a new Ninja Foodie. And that's the pot roast that I made in it. Mwah, muy dolente. And then we got into this thing. So, all right, I hope you can see that. This is the number of blocked payments that my credit card processor blocked on Rogers Raiders in the latter half of 2021. This is not a stat that shows up on my normal stat page. This is not a stat that I get in email. It's not a stat I even cared to know about, to be honest. You know, if you have a problem, I want my processor to define fraud, but it overzealously defined fraud because the Biden administration made some rule changes in what's called 3D Secure on credit cards. Plus, they put in fees in which a bank that sneaks through my security. In other words, you get your credit card stolen and somebody uses it with me for $2, I owe the bank $15. Not going to happen. That's like having mail-in ballots. There's no trust on who's touching what or who did what. The bank no longer has a vested interest to stop fraud. They're profiting from it. $13 on every new membership that they want to call fraud later down the road. And I held a bunch of meetings this week because I will just like we do in the Guns of Glory. Well, nobody else is saying that. And then I just finally have to ask, who's making the money when a fraud comes through? And they go, well, the bank gets it. I said, all right. So why aren't you stopping fraud from coming through? Because I pay the processor to not allow fraudulent transactions. Well, that's not our job. I said, that's exactly what your job is. Your job is to be between me and the customer and collect payments from legitimate payments. The bank doesn't, and for those who don't understand credit card law, your bank gets to decide whether or not the fraud was valid, or your bank has to pay the fee, not me. In other words, I'm the one being robbed, and I have no say in it. The bank who doesn't want to be robbed and doesn't because you didn't secure your credit card number, somebody else has it, and no one knew till they went through there, the bank just blankly throws this stuff out there. So, during the November times, they changed the security things, and legitimate payments got blocked. All right, so I got people in Discord who's like, man, I signed up, I don't got my stuff. You're in this sea of 100,000 people that should have just been authorized one way or another because I don't know about you guys, but I put my name, my address, and my card number when I buy from a website. Then they literally ask me for proof that I identified who you were. It's also called, in the crypto world, they're calling it KYC. Know your customer. Stand in front of your bathroom tiles and hold up your driver's license number. Give me your social security. Give me this. They impose this on crypto, and they're starting to try and impose this on credit cards without saying they're imposing on credit cards. They're going to build this third-party agency where every piece of known financial data about your life is going to go into some private company. The private company is going to verify who you are. I'm going to buy a service from them to verify that you verified with them, right? And then that's going to validate your use of a credit card in their minds. Not the reality of the world I'm living in. As you know, in the crypto world, we're building our own crypto stuff because I've seen this. When I saw KYC and I saw what KYC was, I knew what was coming. The end of all privacy in financial transactions, down to the $2 transaction at Rogers Raiders. I will blow the shit up before I violate a customer's privacy over $2. Just not going to happen. Morally opposed to it. I see it as coordinated thievery. So we had 106,000 users that got their payments blocked. We had about 4,400 users that got through. Okay. And you can see in there about 14% of the people that got through were considered a high risk. High risk being guys who go down and they load a Visa down at Walmart. You're a high risk customer. Okay. Just because you don't want me to have your credit card information. For the reason I don't want to have your credit card information. Right? And 68% are just people that pulled out their bank card and paid me. All right. So that's first of the laundry situations here. Okay. To deal with that problem, I got 4 options in front of me. Because I have to pay for that money that got blocked right there. That was the coders that I needed to build next year's stuff without having to argue about money. I could have overpaid somebody that worked quickly. You know, that's $200,000, $208,000 that you see there per month. Okay, because it's a $2 per month subscription. You know, that's just, but the average subscription lasts about 4 months. So with the rollover, it would have been somewhere between 1.4 and 1.7 million dollars at the end of the year. So I got to fix that problem. And to be honest, this website was never designed to get as big as it is. It's not supposed to have 1 million people a month running through it. But I've talked about that before where I'm building the coding stuff, but I'm having to build the coding slow because I'm having to do it on my own. Can I get my money? You can get like 3 months of it back, Darwin. This is one of the reasons GOG hates me is I showed I got a video out there on how to go beat up Google. Google will get your money back. Yeah. That's got nothing to do with this. Well, I lie. So Bitcoin's crashing, and everybody that knows that I'm in the crypto loves to come up and say, "Oh my God, Bitcoin crashed. What are you going to do now?" I'm going to spend all the money I made while Bitcoin crashed. I made money. Because anybody that's watched this lives, I've been telling everybody Bitcoin was going to crash at the beginning of the year 2022. I don't have a crystal ball, okay, but I do understand politics and governments. Okay, Bitcoin crashing and the Russians sitting on the edge of Ukraine are tied together. Okay, this Russia bribing so much of Germany that they now control Germany's energy. And Germany's going, well, we're going to send 5,000 helmets over the Ukrainians. The Russians sent 100,000 troops to the border this week. The Germans, NATO, who's supposed to stop the Russian invasion, sent 5,000 helmets. Find a helmet, put the fucking helmet on, because shit's about to get real. All right? There may be some bluffing in here because, quite frankly, you can always use to avoid the loss of life. We're just going to capitulate and cower to our bullies. And I think Biden's in that camp. All his bluster is just that bluster. But this stuff applies to our gaming and our gaming websites and our business and our YouTube. Google's going to be accepting Bitcoin as part of a payment system. So I could fix my problem two ways. I could put Google Pay on the website, and then I don't have to worry about credit card processing. It becomes Google's problems. Or that allows people that are overseas and wanting to deal in Bitcoin and think they're being anonymous to deal with that. The problem winds up being the lie that's been told about cryptocurrencies. First of all, there's nothing anonymous about it. A blockchain is open source. Every transaction that takes place, anybody in the world, even if they don't own the crypto, can go look that this ID number paid this ID number. What the difference between that and a fiat currency, like when you got tons of cash just laying around, when you got a little whole $100 bill just freaking laying there. The difference is you're responsible for your banking. Just like I'm responsible for that $30,000 sitting in the drawer, right? No one's going to give me my money back if somebody steals that. Only if I put it in a bank and somebody robs the bank will somebody give me my money back. The constitutional law is just going by the wayside. It is what it is. We've got one conservative, Roberts, the head of the Supreme Court, that everybody acts like he's this right-wing nut who has voted for every left-wing idea that's come across the court. They just got voted down. You cannot make people get a shot at work because the same risk exists outside work as inside work, and the government cannot turn around and specialize based on individual risk in that manner. Where was that thinking when we passed Obamacare through the Supreme Court? If everybody gets sick and everybody dies, how can you make everybody get an insurance when only the insurance company in the middle is going to make money? Or if you make it completely government controlled, saying you're cutting out the insurance's profit, you get no innovation and no advancement in medicine. Those were the choices. So we got a choice of let the insurance company make money or let innovation in medicine die. Because the reason somebody pays more money for a drug is because that drug works. And they got the money to pay it. Whining and bitching like, well, it's $1,000 a dose. Then invent your own. I don't want to hear how it's a sad thing, but people get sick and they die. That's a universal problem we all have. We don't even have to specify a disease. We don't even have to make one up called COVID. It's a cold. Right now, my wife is in the house with COVID. She just tested positive. My parents just tested positive. They're in their upper 70s. Both of them been sick as shit. The one guy with the predisposition to getting COVID, I didn't get it. Been around all three of them. Riding around in the car with them. All a bunch of bullshit. All right, so there's that. There's some interesting things with moving my phone over, guys. So I want to talk about the new phone. Hold on. If I go to standing bench, that ain't it. Desk down cam, there it is. Think. I'm going to do this. All right. I don't like that at all. Get my candy bar out. All right, my water. Look at this. I should clean my desk. All right. So I went from the S20. I still got my S20 here. And then I went to this Z Flip 3. We bought 2 of these. I have a problem with my eyes. So now I'm going to tell you one of the things I like immediately about this thing. It's hard for me to feel, but there you go. The thumbprint sensor is right here. It's next to the button. And then I'm going to do some more tweaking on that. You got a full screen thing like this. And then you got a little modified tablet for some games. There's some quirks in this game, or in this phone, for the rotation. Like, I can't rotate this direction and get the drop-down menu at the top. I like rotating this direction because the power cable comes out this way. So in tablet mode, which is what this is, and then you got this third screen, right? Now it's thick, and my wife was really, she's like, oh my God, it's thick. It is thick, but I don't feel like it's going to fall out of my hand now. Thanks, Rex. Okay. So if you're wondering whether an $1,800 phone is worth it, because this is what this was $1,800. I had to pay $300 off on that S20 because I had another year of service on that. I tell the story. My wife just walked in and said, "Hey, here's your new phone." I never had a problem with the S10. I love the S10. Still got the S10. Still love the S10. And then I was curious. I actually downloaded Guns of Glory in the store because I was curious of what it would look like on the big screen here. All right. See, and I got this desk set up to where you see what I see. Yeah, because I got the cameras all upside down and stuff. So I can go like this. And you see it goes to a full flat screen type deal. Yeah. Get through all the events, all the other stuff, and then there's my account sitting in there like that. And you can still go back to a normal phone because it's got 3 screens. And then there's some problems if you're like Googling around. There was problems with the Z Flip from Samsung. One, the software companies, the Android software hadn't caught up to being able to show it 2 screens, because this ain't just a big screen. This is a 120 hertz big screen. This is the first 120 hertz device I've ever had. I've never wanted to pay the money for one. And the battery life in tablet mode, pretty good once you set up how much light you need and you don't need. And I need a lot more light than somebody else does. And I'm still getting about 17, 18 hours on a charge. It still charges on the wireless charging. The Samsung DeX. You hear me talking about the DeX. What's in this phone that's not in this phone is wireless DeX. No need for cable. I was just talking last live about having a PC to hook to your TV to do DeX. They eliminated that. You can DeX directly to your TV now. So, in other words, this screen that you see here can be up on a big TV monitor, and then this just becomes touch glass. You got to, if you know where your fingers are going. A lot of you kids know where your fingers are going. I've watched my nephew type a fucking paragraph in a damn text message, never look at the phone once. Not me. I make about 50 typos a day. I'm in an hour. Okay, so let's turn off the downward cam. That gives you an end. And thank you, Rex, for subscribing. I do appreciate it. But like I said, I saw down at the T-Mobile. I think T-Mobile was saying $1,400 with a new plan, which is like $35 a month over the course of a plan if you wanted to get one of these. And then T-Mobile will pay off like $800 of your old phone. So might be something if you guys want a new toy and can afford the monthly payment. It's a way to go. This is what they call power user's device. Right now, this is the best phone you can buy. And that's why we were scrolling down here. I was trying to set up my emails and stuff like that. You guys got to see some of that stuff in the Discord because they tried to kick me into an email support only thing to fix my email problem from my security email server. That's why I got the Georges getting angry in there. Yeah. It says like, and yes, I did. Can I speak to your mother? Because apparently you don't understand what I'm saying here. Yeah. I feel like I've walked. Oh, we were talking back and forth about other stuff. Then my wife has made good use of her new $1,800 phone, as you can clearly see. Yeah. That's a split screen feature. So you can open this up and have stuff on one side and stuff on another. And then use your fingers like view what you're looking at and scroll with your left finger and read with your right finger. And there's a bunch of different templates for how this phone works out. All right. Ooh. Can you send? Yeah, you can send okay, so can you send gear pieces with gift envelopes? I have over 12,000 blood tooth elixirs and don't have a crossbow +3. No, you cannot send gear, and she's right in that you can't send gear, but one gift envelope, you can only send one elixir. The gift envelope system is been broken for years. For some reason, Guns of Glory, once upon a time, and it's something we just kind of forgotten about over the years about bitching about more. Yeah, if it's a $50, if I got to buy a $50 pack to get a gift envelope, they don't want people sending gift envelopes from one person to another to build up an account, is what they're trying to stop. Why? $50 was spent. Because they spam the free crap that we don't want. And then they actually add it in as, oh, did you spend $50? Here's $150 worth of free crap that you'll never want. And 6 months from now, we'll turn that into 2,000 wood. Yeah. I'm grouchy today, so I said it's been a shitty week. My dog went to the vet. I told you my dog had a stroke. He had an abscess, and he had a seizure this week. So he had an abscess in his tooth. It all swelled up. And the seizure seized his muscles in his face up so much that he burst his own abscess before we got him to the vet. So now we're just cleaning it out with salt water, and that's a 2-man operation to wrestle that dog down to rinse his mouth out with chloroseptic and salt water. Best dog ever for taking a pill. I can take a pill out of the bottle and say, here, eat this. Nom, 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 nom. Thanks, Don. You know, that's the, all right. The other question in Discord. All right, I'm going to blow this up if I can. Your infantry goad the enemy into attacking them instead of your other troops. Infantry will take 3.5% damage on behalf of other troops whenever the remaining number of infantry is more than 50% of the infantry in the march. The remaining number of infantry is more than 50% of the infantry in the march. It makes it sound like you need 50% of your march to be infantry. This is poor wording on the behalf of the Chinese. The march you send had X number of infantry in it. Right? And as long as you have, I'll use stupid simple numbers. 10. You had 10 infantry in your march. As long as 5 are alive, that infantry is going to absorb the damage to, say, your cavalry would have absorbed. And if you're thinking like, well, hell, I'm just going to send 10 infantry, and that infantry will be dead after the first round. So there is a balancing number to that. Like on my distance marches for attack that I've not published, I have about 130,000 infantry, about between 115 and 130. There's a sweet spot in the middle of that on an 800,000 march. And then I've got about 80,000 cavalry, and then the rest is my distance for a distance march. If that gives you an idea of the blending that must take place for a lower cost of loss, I want to inflict, if I know I'm hitting a big player, I want to kill as many of that big player as I possibly can, because I'm going to lose my march. Okay? I'm going to fall right down the battlefield treatment. So it's a known cost when I attack that way. I know it's going to cost me $165, $170 to lose that march. All right. So for that $160, my goal is to get as much carnage out of that $160 as I can possibly get. All right. So this is what Deception's asking, about. No, you don't need to have a cavalry march with 51% infantry in it. It's just poorly written. All right, let's see what his other one is. Activating war strategy. Ooh. Yeah, I hate to go. I got up late. Man, everybody's had the COVID, so I just been tiptoeing around. Add 3% of your mounted musketeerman's health to their attack power. All right. So, health counteracts damage. All right. Now, last live, I was telling everybody how cavalry is a very good defensive march. This is one of the reasons. If you stack health, right, adds 3% of your health to their attack power, it converts it to attack. So you build up your health stat when you're choosing which stats to build up first, because you should always build up your health stat first anyway. And this is one of the reasons it's a good idea to do that. Max stat player is a max stat player, so it doesn't matter where they put it. It's max, right? So those of us who have to make choices on how we grow our account, this is a choice that has to be made. Okay. Attack power will be calculated including all benefit bonuses. What does that mean? That means if you put a 25%, okay, so let's say we have 1,000 health. We have one book in here. It's going to add 3% of the amount of musketeer's health to the attack power. Let's say the 1,000 was on the attack. So now your attack goes from a 1,000 attack to 1,030 attack. But wait, there's more. If you throw the 25% attack bonus buff on, or there's some other event bonus going on, that stuff is calculated after the war books. This tells us, when I'm doing a logarithmic math, where do they apply the war books? At what phase? It is not in the show me stat. Okay? It's down on the base stat. So this is a modification to base stat, because a troop attack is a modification of base stat. Even though it shows on your show stats, guys, it's still a modification of base stat. Okay? So you'll go from 25%, 0.75 to 1030 to 1030.75 attack power. Doesn't sound like much, does it? Depends on how big that health number is, right? Remember, we're talking about 3% of your health. If you got a 20,000 health, all of a sudden, we take it times our 1,000. That's an extra 150 health, 160 health. Now we're talking about a gem there. We're talking about an upgrade's worth there. Okay, so, and once you've done this, it just, as you grow your account grows exponentially via warbooks. Warbooks, the only place you add damage in warbook is there's damage reduction in infantry, and there's damage added via distance. The distance get more damage from warbooks. Tier 9 distance with 10 warbooks will kick a T10's ass all day long, no matter what modifications you put on it. Because of the damage modification in tier 9 distance. Hope that makes sense. Damn, Ethan, sorry to hear that, man. We know it's coming with this dog. But what are you going to say? He's the happiest dog ever. If it costs us $1,000 a month to keep him on life support, as long as he's happy, he's allowed to live. The minute he's in pain, can't take it no more, and is miserable, we'll put him down. Not till then. Right now we got to get off to help him up on the couch. He looks like he's an embarrassed person, like an old person. Like, stop helping me. So there's that. Oh, free, so it seems like a waste of some time. It's not a waste of time. It's an amplification of your time already used. Okay, so let's talk about coordination there. Okay, so you got your war books, right? It amplifies your health, which amplifies your attack power. He's a free player. He's got to make choices. Hey, I get to open up a new airship part this week because I won something in New World. Or I get to open up a new gym. If you open up the health, you get attack for free. On both of those, on your airship, you open up the health, you get more attack for free. Right? Because you put it in the warbook. Not a waste of time. It's an amplification of effort. You're going to be doing more things at a time. So when you get to where you're rolling your guard weapons, and let's say I want my attack power on my cavalry up real high. So I'm building a cavalry account on in Kingdom 747 right now, right? So when we get to guard weapons, I'm going to stack the shit out of cavalry health and make use of that warbook because it's going to add to my cavalry attack. But more importantly, as I keep stacking that cavalry health, my cavalry becomes more and more and more powerful on defense. And a little bit more powerful on the attack side. You eventually get those stats anyway. But if you're choosing how to lopside your stats, because your account should not be built evenly. You should be picking a march that you're going to build. And with that march that you're going to build, distance, infantry, cavalry, stacking your stats and matching your war books to that stack. Matching your curiosities to that stack. Matching your gems to that stack. So that when all that base stat stuff gets put in there, the war books just amplifies it. The war books cost RSS. It's damage on the table. All right. Man, that's it. We don't need to do anything else. There's nobody talking in the chat. Man, I do want to show that. I'm going to show that on the. Where's my YouTube? This is one of these things for you guys that. Hold on, I'm going to turn that camera back on. Man, can I do that? Dink. Not what I want. Let's do it that way. And I notice, all right, because I can't show you this screen. How crooked is this? All right. I guess I set this camera up one day when I was sitting like this. Okay. My current live stream. So I'm going to go pull up my current live stream. Make sure. Okay. So this is one of the problems that I've had with YouTube. YouTube went and hid this stuff that you can see down here now used to be hidden. So yeah, if you got an $1,800 phone, it's not hidden no more. And then now I can see your guys' chat and so well as watch the video. And somebody can actually participate in the chat. So if you're a social media person, this is that way. Hold on, I gotta silence myself. Dink. All right. Now I'm going to turn around and turn it this way. And now the chat's on the side, the video's in the middle. I don't know why that's not even on my internet. That's one of the things I didn't talk about. With the new T-Mobile, I got this 5G UC for urban areas. Fastest internet I've ever owned. I'm getting 100 megabyte per second downloads on this, whereas in here I'm getting 6 and 7s on the same T-Mobile. See, this is one of these hidden buttons where you can join, get a membership, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's kind of neat. See, these are things I hadn't gone and looked at. I'm not wanting to get a whole bunch of memberships on Google. I'm wanting to get away from that kind of stuff as much as we can. Yeah, we're down the rabbit hole. But like I said, I didn't buy it for a social media aspect, but for a social media phone, this is definitely productive. There's a whole bunch of my apps that's already been more productive on. I really am going to pick up 2 or 3 hours a week in productivity because of the new phone. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot. I mean, I beg for 2 hours of extra work. So let me get rid of that. I just wanted to show that because it directly related to the YouTube stuff. It was a nice feature. The camera is supposedly the same as the S20, which was one of the, which everybody goes, oh, they didn't improve the camera. I'm like, I don't know how you could have improved the camera because as far as I know, only the new iPhone 13 has got a number that says it's bigger, yet it doesn't have the processing power to handle the aperture the camera has. So the camera can do way more than the phone can in the iPhone 13 because I seriously thought about, for camera reasons, getting an iPhone 13. But so much Apple stuff is so proprietary, I didn't want to get stuck on an Apple having to download Apple software when Apple feels like updating, or we're like, well, we'll get to that in 6 months. That's a problem I have with Apple all the way around. All right. So, and let's go to Dex. And let's turn off the Discord. All right. Boop, 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 doo. Guys, I don't know why everybody tries to get a hold of me in game. See, I hadn't been playing that much. Okay, so I got some stuff to do in here, that's for sure. Got our shouters already. Okay. Well, that's what everybody says, Ethan. I got a Note 10 that works perfectly. I got an S10 Plus. I love my S10 Plus. This had I needed it for my eyes. I needed the. This is basically a tablet you can fold up and put in your pocket, right? Uh, the and it's still the size of a phone. But I needed the tablet view and the mobility, and we've just reached a point where nothing in my world is on an Ethernet cable anymore. I am wireless on everything except for a couple crypto machines, and not that they couldn't be wireless. I just decided not to do it. That's that. Ugh. Well, I need another water. Yeah, my wife had a Note 9. We wound up giving that to my dad. But the S20, where's it at? Was the replacement for the Note series. This replaced the Note series. Not particularly happy with that. Okay. I was very, very leery about getting a new device with Google on a fucking rampage for control over what you see. And we've noticed it inside quite a few apps. There's a lot of helpfulness going from one phone to the next where literally it knew all our passwords and stuff like that. Oh, hey, we remember your fingerprint. I'm not. Aziz got a thing on Netflix and he said it perfectly. It's like, I'm not going to give anybody my facial recognition. Want to see what you look like when you're old? Oh, hell yeah, scan my face. Now China's got a copy of everybody's face. Yeah, you get subtle hints when you start looking back at things. Like, what was I watching? Last Man Standing. In order to be seen in China, they had to bring a Chinese character into the show. It's China's rule now. So the last couple of years, they brought in a Chinese exchange student. Like, I'm from Hong Kong, land of 4 million cameras and zero crime. Coincidence? Trying to subtly say that we need to be in a monitored culture. Cameras don't stop crime. Really not going to stop any crime if no one stays in jail when you catch them. So you can't be arguing both sides of the coin. Hey, we need more cameras to stop crime. But Buttigieg is doing it. In order to stop the racial profiling, we're going to put in more speed cameras. Because now I don't know what to fear most about this. One, that all cops are so racially profiling that there's the only reason a black person gets a ticket Or is he about to find out the number of black people getting a ticket is going to go up because the cops didn't want the hassle before? Now the camera's going to get the ticket. Because they did a study up in New Jersey, I think 20 some years ago, where they were, they had a camera set up so they could see inside the car and catch the people that are speeding. More blacks were speeding than whites. So common sense says that they're full of shit, but for some reason no one wants to believe common sense simply because they've defined common sense as racist. So we're there. Dan Bongino got pulled off of YouTube for saying masks don't work while reading the CDC newsletter where the Center for Disease Control said, hey, masks don't work. Then they went through all his things and pulled him off. So I should be gone shortly. Yeah. I have certain carve-outs. We'll see how far we can take them. But at some point, when contract law doesn't matter anymore, we're all at risk. People don't understand what the Constitution is. Constitution means contract law. Me and another man get into a written agreement. It is bound by law because it's a written agreement. Without that, there's civil discourse. People start shooting at each other. Like it becomes a trailer park on Saturday night. Oh no, you didn't. Yeah. All right. Well, man, how long have we been going? We started at 4. I don't know what time it is. All right, so we've been going about an hour. I don't see any reason to keep live up this week. I needed to do some. I'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, but I don't know that there's anything in game that's that big of a deal. Yeah. I do know over Rogers Raiders, I'm going to have to do something different. Just for longevity. I'm thinking 4 or 5 years out. Doing what everybody's doing now is a sure way to be like everybody else is going to be, and that's screwed. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not looking to let somebody else make decisions about my company. Like I said, Joe Biden decided we were going to up the security on credit cards the day before Black Friday. Okay, that's the day I got hit. So all the retailers got hit with the same thing. And anybody that had less than a $15 purchase, the banks just turned around and disputed it all and collected the money from the retailers. They scammed Walmart. They scammed grocery stores. It's not just me that they were getting the scamming from. I guarantee you, since the only one making money is the banks, that was a bank payout. I'm pissed off at the news this morning. Everybody talking about how Bitcoin's down this, Bitcoin's down that. It's like, well, El Salvador switched to Bitcoin and then it tanked. Bitcoin's a Bitcoin. A dollar's a dollar. Maybe I did this last live. I was talking somewhere. If I buy 100 candy bars for $1 and they drop to 10 cents a candy bar, I still have 100 candy bars. If they go to $2 a candy bar after I bought 100 candy bars, I still have 100 candy bars. But they're only worth $2 if I'm selling them down at the end of the street. A cryptocurrency is worth what your mind says it's worth, and you lived your entire life knowing what a dollar is worth. Last summer, it took $80,000 to buy one Bitcoin, one candy bar, right? That's because inflation is just like when it says, oh, they used to have to go to the store with a barrel of money in Germany before they attacked another country due to inflation. That's how World War II started. So if it takes $80,000 to buy your one candy bar, that's inflation. And then what else did I see this week? Oh my gosh. 30% of the inflation is the price of new cars. That's because you can't get a new car. Point blank, you guys know I'm trying to get a new Bronco. But I'm not just going down to the lot and buying whatever the hell's on the lot. I keep my cars 15, 20 years. More than likely, this will be the last new car I ever buy. Mine's going to have a Baja 1000 freaking race suspension right from Ford. Not that I will ever need it or probably never use it, but I do go out to the mountains and I do climb trails, and something designed to go 95 miles an hour across the desert and hit boulders will survive going up my driveway in the mountains. And then if I do decide I don't like it and I want to trade it off later, you get your money back on the upscale options. Like I have leather seats and the big stereo and all that stuff gets added right back into the trade later on. So it's not lost money. You lose money on the base model. You buy a $35,000 Bronco, drive it off the lot, you lose $10,000. You buy a $60,000 Bronco, you drive it off the lot, you lose $10,000. Right? I'm going to lose 10 grand buying what I want, but I'm not going to lose 20 grand buying what I want. Really, it's just weird stuff. I'll tell you what has escaped anybody talking about financing on TV, and I hope it doesn't escape you guys, but you couldn't get product before Black Friday. You couldn't get product before Christmas. Shelves are bare. Interest rates were at 0, but you couldn't buy anything to borrow money. And while you couldn't buy anything to borrow money, the amount of borrowing went up. The number of people living off a credit card went up during that same time, that there was nothing to buy. And it's a direct reflection of the number of people who started using their credit cards to pay electric bills and gas bills and letting it roll over to the end of the month. They're buying $400 worth of gas in the car, and they only have a $300 a month gas budget. And that's going to, in 60 days, the Fed's going to raise interest rates. Immediately on your credit card, your 18% credit rate interest rate is going to go to 25, 26%. So the $400 a month worth of gas that you're buying and only paying $300 a month of it off on your credit card that you've been letting roll over is going to be $400 a month worth of gas plus another $100 worth of interest. So you're going to be paying $500 a month and can only afford $300. Crypto crashed on a schedule prior to market crash on a schedule to allow people who make money during an inflation of tax refunds. Got to remember, everybody's going to get a tax refund here shortly. Oh my gosh, that's what I forgot to bring up. I forgot to bring that letter in here. I got a letter from the IRS telling me, it says, you may not have gotten the $1,400 we said we sent you last year. Make sure you file your 2021 taxes to get the $1,400 we said we sent you. That $1,400 stimulus check, I never got it. But they know I didn't get it because they sent me a letter to make sure that I write down on my taxes that I didn't get it, but stating, well, you don't owe us any money because you didn't get it, even if you did get it. But if you get this letter, make sure you file this extra form to get your taxes, get your check that we told everybody we gave you last year, this year. Scumbag some bitches, man. All they did was walk out the news, says, hey, we paid your neighbor $1,400. I'm your neighbor. I didn't get my $1,400. I live on a fixed income. I could use $1,400. You know what kind of gear I can buy for $1,400? More importantly, the things that I could have bought with $1,400 last summer would have made me an extra $150 a month for the rest of the year. I would have actually added to the economy and made some money and generated some more income, generated some more spending. Because they think they're slick and clever, that they're just, I have a feeling that my name's on the list of sorry bastards who don't get shit from a Democratic Party's in charge. Because that's just kind of been true. Maybe none of us are getting it, right? I don't know. Been a bad month. Man, you never want to go to the mailbox and see a letter from the IRS. That immediately went, oh, fucking what now? Yeah. No good feelings arose. They were just trying to tell me, hey, we screwed you last year, but we'll make up for it when you file your taxes this year. I would be willing to bet I probably should read the fine print on that, because I remember like when we bought this house, it was it was my wife's first time buying a house, so we got the first time buyer's credit. And there was a bunch of clauses in that. Like if you sold the house within 10 years, you had to pay the money back. So I think they gave us like $13,000 or $14,000 first time buyers. And almost the entire market built that into the system overnight. Oh, fill out this form. We're going to charge you an extra 15 grand because the government's giving it to you. I've only met one other person. I've only met a private person one time who tried that with me. When I bought the computer store, it was underneath a hotel. I live in a town that's historic. It's over 100 years old, and this hotel has been here 100 years. So it was like my store used to be the saloon in the bottom of the hotel, and where the hotel was where the hookers used to be upstairs, the dancing girls. And so the hotel was upstairs, and the lady that managed the hotel for Yates Petroleum, I'll throw them under the bus. There was a petroleum company that bought this thing for they had all nice, and when they brought executives into town, it was a nice place to stay. And she had a camera looking at my front door of my store after I bought the store from the previous owner. And my rent was $900 a month, whereas just a block away, 4 times the square footage for $600 a month. So the rugs were terrible in my place. They had rips and tears in them. It was a terrible place. I didn't have my own bathroom for the store. I had to use the one for the hotel. And then when it clogged, that bitch tried to get me to pay half the plumber's bill. It's like, well, you use the bathroom too. I'm like, I don't use it like 20 guests do. Holy crap, why have half the bill? And that's when I told her, it says, look, your lease was with the previous owner. You don't have a lease with me. We're on a month to month, because just prior to her trying to stiff me with a plumber's bill, she had that camera sitting in front of my door, and she goes, well, the number of customers, I'm going to have to raise your rent to $1,100 a month. And I was like, why is that? She's like, well, you've got more customers coming in than you used to. How is that any of your business? How many customers I got coming into my business? Yeah. Are they all using the bathroom or something I don't know about? Because I have to have a key to use the bathroom. No. She just decided I was making more money, therefore she was entitled to more rent. Because she could go back to her boss and say, look how much more money I'm making as the manager. That's what she wanted to do. And it cost me $20,000 to move 1 block away and across the street. And she really thought I wouldn't do it because it's expensive to move. And I bought an established business that everybody knew where it was. So when you move locations, you lose traffic. But to her detriment, when I bought that location, I come in and work the store over 2 weeks in Thanksgiving, just to see how it worked, see what the customers were like, see what was going on before I ever even thought about making an offer on it. I came in and worked for free for 2 weeks, and it was busy as shit. I was like, holy crap, man. He's telling me what he made he showed me the books of what he made last year, and I'm like, you should have made like 8 times that amount of money. And what it really comes down to being is, howdy Blair, really come down to being that uh, he would come to work, lock the door, go down the street to the coffee shop, and sit in there and drink coffee all day unless somebody called him on the phone. So the doors were never open. And then the 2 weeks that I was working in there, the doors were open 20, and word like spread to somebody who's down there, and we just kick ass busy. Uh, the other thing is he did half-ass work. So odds are the computer was going to need to be fixed again in 3 months. This is why I don't like IT guys. IT guys are not there to fix things and walk away. They're there to make sure that they keep a job fixing things. That means that all the advice you ever got on how to work on your computer from an IT guy is not good advice. I would never, ever hire an IT guy to work at my computer store. We're private contractors. I got to pay gas money, time, and labor to send somebody out to an oil rig in the middle of the desert to fix something. And when it's not right, I got to pay all that time, money, and gas again, and I don't get to collect a second bill. Although my competitors would charge a second time, I do not. I expect that the work that my guys do is done right the first time, and that the customer's happy. And that's how I was gaining more customers. I mean, we went up 300%, but it should have been 800%. We only went up 300% in income over his previous year. So it wound up being a good buy to some extent. But I wound up overpaying for what it was, if that makes sense. I bought an established running business, not a business that had been closed for 3 months because the guy wanted coffee. That stuff hurts your business growth. Made people look around, shop around, go buy new stuff versus fixing old stuff, that kind of thing. Yeah. Where are the Russians at? We hate Russians this week. Yeah. Guys, I know Putin better than most people that are on the news knows Putin. And I don't know. Oh, hold on here. Yeah. How come yours has chocolate in it? Yeah. Thank you. From a place called Fat Straw. $7 for this drink. I think it's Red Bull and Sprite. That's all it is. I'm doing the same thing there, Blair. Yeah. From what we know now, since we started 592 to ended 592, I mean, I did so much math in there that if you got, again, choices that you're going to make, you know that research is base stats. You know you're going to have to wait 3 months for the free loot that drops in the upgrade events, right? So why spend your time on frickin' castle walls and other crap? At the end of the day, speed ups cost more than RSS does. So the coiner, to stay ahead of the daily free players going in and doing their research every day, man, they've got to spend money on speed ups, and that ain't cheap. Uh, you can't wait for them to drop. Meanwhile, I'm stockpiling speed ups. I don't think I've sped up a single troop. Yeah. What was I gonna do? I was gonna yeah, shit. Is that the right airship upgrade? I'm always lost in this. Oh, yes, it was. Okay, so that's what I should be doing. So, Pirates event, guys. I'll tell you what I found was interesting. Hold on, I'm gonna go get some more keys here because I've been stockpiling stuff. Stockpiling specifically for the Pirates event. And notice the order that I'm upgrading these legs in, because there's a method to the madness on a new account. March cap versus PvE. Just people can't help themselves getting attention, can they? Yeah. Your March cap allows for you to get more PvE stuff done. Because they give you troops, right? You don't have to actually build the troops. It's PvE. Oh no. All right, but I can go get that in a minute. Upgrade. Did it give me what I needed? Maybe. Nope, I gotta go one more. You know what? I guarantee you I got some chests. I have 74 red guard chests that I haven't opened. Let's open those. Now I have some stuff. There we go. Yeah, March cap, troop attack, health, then defense. Yeah. The engine parts are the hardest ones to get, right? Or they were. Uh, hmm. So I'm going to go back to health. I'm going to get more March cap. Oh, I missed. Do, 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 do. I don't want any of that stuff while we're on the lives. Okay. Yeah, on my 592 account, just from free troop speeds, I have 39,000 speed ups. Plus 1,500 3 hours. For other stuff. I got like a sick amount of freaking speed ups over there. Because I haven't built troops in forever. I built the firewall and logged off 6 months ago, and no one zeroed me yet. I lose a little bit each KR, but it doesn't go down. Not quickly. I mean, worst thing you can do, right, is cost me 10% of my troops during KR. But you've got to lose 10% of your troops doing it. And when you're losing T13s to my T3s, you've got to really ask yourself, why am I spending $25 a march at Gunmuse? Because that's what it's costing them to do that, even during a KR event. $25 a march. Why am I doing that? Yeah. Let's watch them go nuts in here. This picture of this half-naked man in sunglasses. What is he? What are you in? Red Hot Chili Peppers? What the fuck, man? Yeah. No understanding what public means. Yeah. It's more than just guards. It's everything, Reven. Uh, the you the firewall talks about quantities, right? Uh, but what you use to support those quantities is also core to it. Defense counteracts attack. Health absorbs damage. When damage is being calculated as it landed on your troops, it is calculated against your health number, not against your defense number. The ability to land that damage is the attack versus defense rolls. Right. Look, you can achieve the goal of, if all things being equal inside your kingdom, of stacking defense stats against guys who are stacking attack stats and take away their ability to hit you. You can do it. I have done it. The old Kingdom 312 videos from 4 years ago, that was my primary thing that I did to be so bulletproof, was I stacked defense back then. I stacked defense at the risk of damage because I blended gear once upon a time and got an extra 150 defense stats more than what it seemed like it was possible by having some Sun King and some Retribution and some Duelist, because the three separate with 222 of those pieces, I could get another 150 defense. I think the peak defense number back then was 900 on my troop defense. Whereas the next guy that we would fight, 700 was his attack. And so I took his attack off the table, therefore his damage didn't get a chance to roll. And then somewhere around in 362, about 2.5 years ago, uh, that math changed. It just they changed the game when they rolled out the new guards. I run Ann and Aramis. Uh, Run Aramis and a wall guard. What are people attacking you with? Distance or cavalry? Remember, the fifth talent on a guard is uh, uh, the fifth talent on a guard is 50% increase base stat defense of that troop type. Yeah, I use Aramis. The But if you're trying to make a choice on which guards you can use, pick a defense type. If you're a cavalry, if you're still building up your troops and hadn't gotten to the point where you can build up a firewall, things like that, you're still building that stuff up, then you're either you're honestly, if you're building slow, you need to be building a distance march so that you do well in the wolf. Okay? That's what your focus should be on if you're a free player, is a distance march. It allows you to kill player versus environment stuff easier with less stats. The damage numbers in distance can be gotten for free that aren't there in cavalry and infantry. Most of the time you get attacked by cav, then you want an infantry setup, that's for sure. Yeah. Uh, Look, this gets into your war books too. Where are your war books at? You're focusing on distance. They're hitting you with cav, which means they got an advantage over you. Just so you know. If you're going to be a distance march for defense, you have got to be thinking about your infantry's damage. We want to roll the damage from your distance onto your infantry, and we want to reduce the amount of damage that infantry takes. So you got your top slot for your odd tier. Odd tier being 9, 11s, 13s of your distance. That's your damage buffer. You're going to put all 10 war books in there so you have max damage when you attack. Then you're going to go straight over to your infantry and you're going to start layering them war books on that infantry reduction all the way up through there so that your firewall knocks the piss out of them because you're dumping damage on infantry and they're not taking as much because of the war books. You guys, I don't know where you're getting that stuff from. 30, 35. I know what you're saying. Where is this secret place that people are telling you that's the numbers? Because I can promise you that has never worked. I've heard it so many times. It doesn't work. The Oh, is that you telling me your war books? I thought you were telling me your March mix. Hold on. 30, 35. No, dump all that stuff out of the damn other stuff and maximize your infantry damage reduction. Dump your you want enough in there to dump your damage on the infantry, and then you want to start reducing the damage the infantry takes. And then the first things that you 6-star and 7-star on your airship is infantry damage reduction. That's the first thing you do. The Start making your account match your gameplay. Everywhere in there. Hold on, I got some stars to put on over here. Where's that up in? Is that up in here? Cavalry damage. No. Infantry damage received. This is your first thing you upgrade on your account if you are a distance march player. The right. So what did I just do? Went to the wrong place again. All right. 20% damage reduction to my incoming infantry. All right. There's nothing you can do when a player's got more stats at it, but these damage numbers start to hit limits. And it starts to get into the point where 5% here and there, or 10 to 15%. I don't remember what it when we start getting close to max on the things like 330, 350 or something like that. And then because of my war book bonuses, people turn around and they ask how I get an extra 20% in there. It's because I make my airship and my war books match what I'm stacking through my guards and my curiosities, my gems. And the last thing I upgrade is my gear. Gear is just, people like the thought that gear does something, but it's very costly to upgrade and has very little gains in doing so. It's the thing that you can show somebody else, right? You don't have a YouTube channel to show everybody what you got. Go back here. So you can always show people what you got in gear. The Bat King. You guys may remember he has an alliance that's all to himself and another. I can't remember where at. Uh, he let my entire alliance beat on his high stat castle so that we could optimize some rally math. And we did. We optimized that rally math to where we zeroed our marches out the first time, and within the next 30, 40 minutes, we were taking him down. That's the kind of cooperation that I need in order to build up stuff. This is why when we started out the live, I had to tell you about the freaking finance thing, because I'm going to turn off financing just because I don't want to argue with the bank. It is not a good use of my time to argue with the banks all the time. I've been funding this stuff out of my pocket anyway. It would have been nice to have a couple $100,000 coming in through there. I'm going to put up a new membership type thing, but it's going to be something that the people who, you, the owner of your credit card, have got to be responsible for when it's stolen. I can't take on that responsibility, and I'm damn sure not going to, just because Joe Biden said the bank can force me to pay them. You lose your credit card number and I got to pay your bank? I'm sorry, folks. We're going to have a discussion that's going to involve a lot more lead in the air before this stuff is over. because that is just literally a second person robbing me because you weren't responsible with your freaking information. I don't know how that's even considered reasonable. It's kind of like the birth control. It's 100% none of my business what you do with your birth control, but it is 100% my financial responsibility that you have it. If you're going to ask me to pay for it, I want an opinion on it. So it's just that'll get me banned from YouTube right there. I'll be gone by Monday. They go through every word I say. It takes like 12 hours to process my lives because they monitor my freaking shit. It's just annoying. We are going to be pushing some parallel media this year. What do I mean by parallel media? Right now, the social media platforms, when they weren't a big deal, they weren't making money, they got bought up by the communists of the world. Russia and China control these platforms. The social media is a thing now. People want it. People like it. Can't keep arguing like, oh, I don't spend 15 hours on Facebook, but you do. Okay? But it also doesn't cost a fortune to let you spend 15 hours on Facebook like it did before. I mean, my network connections and my servers are $10,000 a month. The contracts that I'm going to be doing on Monday, that $10,000 a month, I'm switching to a different carrier construct that my $10,000 a month is going to become $1,000 every 3 years. And I'll have more bandwidth than I did before. So the costs of certain things are coming down. The technology to support that cost is not here yet. And that's some of what we're building on the website type stuff. So you just got to be patient with that. I know it's weird. I hate saying keep being patient, but real problem is finding workers. Finding people who will show up, do what they're supposed to do. Translation may not be a good idea, by the way. My translation or yours? When I've been translating videos? That's been good for me. Or translating what this guy's saying, and it looked like Korean. Nope. All right. That's Russian. It looked like Korean because it had nice round things. See these nice, hold on. See these nice characters, and then they got some of them that don't look that way, where there's a different font in Guns of Glory. This is keyboard Russian. Somebody's typing Russian into a translator and submitting it as Russian. So look for that differences in fonts, because a Russian types on a Russian keyboard, and it looks different in game. I'm trying to find where they've been talking to an actual Russian. But I don't see that. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing there. I don't know what gaming of what they're gaming. That is, I don't spend a lot of times on that. If you ain't figured it out yet, there, Darren, it ain't my KC. The they're probably going nuts over there, freaking 747, and none of it's gonna wind up on film, so it doesn't matter. Uh Yeah, it's not my KC. I built lots of accounts with this same green icon on them so that I could do these lives, and because I knew what they were going to do next. This is where it upsets these people. They think they're so clever, and yet 2 months ago I prepared the accounts for what they were going to do last week. Yeah, not very clever. Now you got to find me. It's an Easter egg hunt. And what's worse is, if you do find me, it proves you tracked me. So either do nothing, call me crazy, or do something, prove I'm not. Yeah, it's up to them. Yeah, I only use this account for filming. Successful defense. Yeah, it's just I've been doing this a long time. It's the people that need attention that badly. Ain't nothing I can do about that. I mean, that's their world. It's fucked up, right? Uh, man, are you guys getting kicked off or something? I got the weirdest zigzag pattern of users coming in and out. They suggest the audio stream's current bitrate 0 is lower than the recommended. Well, 0 would be lower than recommended bitrate. Well, that would tell me that you guys are not getting audio, which is not true. Man, I don't even think YouTube knows how their own stuff works. We recommend 100. Parked in a pillow. Oh man, I gotta. Darren, all right. I was just telling everybody how you helped us last year. We were doing some math last year in the 592 because you had like three bat accounts, right? Like Batman, Bat something. Is that the same guy? I got that right in my head. Oh, well, I never even thought about UAC being right now. Yeah. The Well, I'm glad the scheduled uh YouTube live came in and worked. I will do that. I'm going to try and do that for next week as well. Uh Lives don't make money. Lives get things done, but that is what it is. And it's the way they're being taught. They're going to school to get a pedigree in a computer language where the instructor is telling them, here's how you screw your boss over. Then they're walking in to interview with a job with me, who knows what I want them to do. I actually can do the programming I'm hiring them to do, only they're under the assumption of what the school taught them is no one who owns the company knows shit about programming. So here's the bullshit you tell them. I hear the same words from person to person from different states and different countries. All of it a lie. The guy that I hired to do the one thing, the reason I hired him was he was the first person who didn't lie to me. I put out a piece of broken code as part of the interview, to sign up for the interview, to see, and said, okay, I'm going to pay $100 for somebody to come back. Should take 15 minutes to fix. And I kid you not, out of the 86, 87 some odd people, one guy tried not to cheat me. Everybody else is wanting 1,000. I was like, oh, I can fix that, but it'll be $1,500. It's 40 minutes worth of work. If you Googled it, it's 40 minutes worth of work. I had to Google it. I have to Google it to fix it, to make it relevant, because I stopped programming PHP stuff when it was PHP 6. Now we're up to PHP 8. So when I hire the new programmer, I don't care that he doesn't know PHP 8. I just need him not to lie to me that he doesn't know PHP 8. This guy goes, why? I'm not that good with PHP. I said, do you understand what it is? Yes. I said, then go and get me that and I'll pay you. And then he sent me a bill for $50 because that's what it took him in time when the offer was 100. So I paid him the 100. But 1 out of 80 some odd people who he was honest that he didn't know what he was doing. The truth of the matter is, for a lot of what we're doing, we don't know what we're doing. That's okay. I live in that world of we're going to do this. And then I get people go, well, who else has done it? No one's done it. That's why we're going to do it. I'm not here to copy somebody else's work. That takes longer, in my opinion. But you got nobody that wants to do the challenge of ideas. It's like when they see the word Gunmuse. They don't even know what the word muse means. Muse is the protector of strange and unusual things. That's what a muse means. Hollywood kind of warped the words, right? You go write a book, a story that's never been written. It's a strange and unusual idea. It doesn't exist. A muse is someone to protect the ideas as they develop, to encourage their existence to reality. The Gunmuse platform was a First Amendment platform. Had nothing to do with frickin' sales of guns. I sold a lot of guns, but that's not what we were there for. It's a First Amendment thing. Because 23 years ago, everyone in San Francisco Valley decided, you know what, we got this new thing called the internet. Let's go pick on the gun guys. I mean, it seemed like the first thought out of their heads. The item number 6 of Microsoft, it's not there no more, but was if you even link to somebody who talked about a gun, we'll ban you from the internet search engine. That's in 1998. So don't tell me they don't have their fucking head up their ass. Yeah. Well, see, and that I understand databasing too. So, like the code I'm developing now, uh, the guy that I was just talking about that sent the thing over, he, I told him I don't even care what he does. Just give me the stuff in a variable. I'll work on the database issue. And he sent me over his version of what he thought, because he needed it for testing, the database should look like. I could never put what he put up in production in a production level. You can store things in a database and retrieve things from a database as a single user in front of a single computer. But when you ask 1 million people to do it from the same server, At that point, how it's done gets talked about in milliseconds of, if I can shave 10 milliseconds off a transaction time, it's huge. The amount of power needed alone is huge for hardware cost. Uh, but that's part of being the business owner, right? I should know how my business works. 99% of the business owners don't know how their damn business works. We need a website. Uh, I want to click here to ship button. Does your IT guy know anything about fucking shipping? No. Then probably shouldn't have him build a fucking ship button. The the it's best to have project controllers inside companies, and very few companies have them. Once upon a time, that's there for a number of years, long before, well, not long before, just before I was doing this. $150 an hour, I come in there and rework your company so that your company can be structured to work in a damn internet world, especially with these oil companies. I'd go in and they'd out here when they do these pumping wells, they got to drive around in the truck and they got a laptop. They type things down on an Excel spreadsheet. Not a one of them pumpers knows how to work a goddamn laptop. The But neither does the guy who owns the company hiring the pumpers. And so they wind up hiring some 20-year-old girl in the office that kind of redoes everything for everybody. And whether anybody wants to admit it or not, the 20-year-old girl in the office who's getting paid the least amount of money is running the fucking company. And I've done this with a couple companies where I walked in and says, well, what do you want to do first? And as soon as I see that they've got this secretary-centered structure where they're dumping everything on her lap, I said, I'm going to give her a week off. Whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, you're starting to understand. She's necessary. You're not. I can give any one of your pumpers a week off, and you can fill them in. You can fill them in by the afternoon. You can't fill her in. She's the integral cog. I said she shouldn't be that integral. She should be the interface, but she shouldn't. When she's talking to other clients and customers, but she shouldn't. She should be able to take a week off, and all the data from the pumps and wells get put into the computer. And that's, like I said, your IT guy. Sometimes it was as simple as they were buying shit computers that just wouldn't work, or they didn't know things like if you got to run a piece of test equipment out, you can't stick 150 feet cat cable on the end of a laptop and expect the laptop to produce enough power to talk to the test equipment 150 feet away. It wasn't designed to do that. That's how you tear up laptops. I don't know why these guys keep tearing up this shit. And that's what the boss of the company's saying. They keep tearing up their laptops. That's because you keep telling them to plug this fucking 150-foot cable into it, dumbass. Laptops are not industrial computers. They're portable computers. They don't have big power supplies. They don't have the ability to put big signals up. So you got to get all this extra shit for some of this extra test equipment. And specialized industries out there, especially in any industrial specialized industry, they take advantage of that. I put in a resume the other day with Intel to suggest to take over their crypto market. Intel is going to start producing crypto equipment here in the state of New Mexico. And I've done this in the past. This is how I got into the oil field industry. Was I had all these oil field workers coming in here and asking me how this and that works. Until you've gone out and done it, you don't know what the fuck you need. So I literally went and worked in the oil field for 6 months and then come back and taught the people who work my computer store how to work a damn computer for an oil field worker. And I'm thinking about doing the same thing with Intel, is going up and working for Intel for their new crypto division, so that I have some guidance and input and not the fucking 20-year-old who thinks all money is bad and crypto's going to save us from the bad, evil people with money. The same fucking people who know how to manipulate the dollar know how to manipulate crypto. So that childish fucking thinking needs to stop. And I'm thinking that a big company like Intel needs to know that maybe the college kids should not be leading the way on this because their head's in the clouds. It's coming. I say it's coming, but not if 20-year-olds are in charge of it. 20-year-olds are going to teach everybody how bad it can be for you is what they're going to do. Texas has a group of people that are advising the governor on, because Texas is going to head crypto. I looked up the list of people on that council. Might as well fire them now. It's out of Austin, Texas. It is the left-wing communists of the world. And a lot of the crypto out there on the market is run by China and Russia. Two places that want the U.S. fiat dollar destroyed. Trust me, they want crypto, but they want crypto for a completely different reason than you do. You want it for privacy. You want it because you want to have an asset that's securable, and you're not afraid to be responsible for your banking. They want to destroy the U.S. dollar so that they can take over property rights worldwide. Okay, you gotta you gotta realize that the enemy of my enemy is my friend is bullshit in this situation. The pro crypto guys in Russia and China are not pro crypto for your first world living style. Hey, since the Google monitors are monitoring right now, send me my fucking tax forms, you asshole. The only thing I'm waiting on right now to finish my taxes for the year is fucking Google. Jesus. You got a computer. There's no sense in it being late. Required by law to be here by February 5th. Not here yet. Should have been here on January 5th. Because you got a computer that runs the fucking math for you. Act like they got a bunch of people in there with pencils behind their ears. Just a little sidetrack. No, the U.S. Treasury is going to create a digital dollar norm. They're trying to blend the words. Completely different thing. They're going to digitize the fiat dollar because they can have control over that. Crypto is not currency. Now this is one of the problems I have with Texas. Okay, so Texas is trying to legalize Bitcoin as a legal tender. That is being done by people out of Austin, Texas. The left-wing nutbags of the world live in Austin, Texas. Just because they're Texans don't mean they give a shit about the United States or its welfare. You cannot legalize Bitcoin as a currency because it takes away your rights as a citizen for it being property. Nancy Pelosi can't take your Bitcoin or tax it because it's not a currency. The minute Texas calls it a currency, and then the federal government adopts the Texas language, the IRS is now going to turn around and say, well, anybody who's got a Bitcoin, IRS is going to come for you. So Google is going to start accepting payments in Bitcoin. That, again, is a backdoor. Google's going to turn around and say, all these people paid us in Bitcoin. Here you go, IRS. Here's a list of everybody who paid for a video game in Bitcoin. People keep thinking they want the luxury portion of it. And they keep forgetting who they're talking to when you're saying, hey, would it be okay if I paid with Bitcoin? Yep, we wanted to control your finances anyway. We'll do that. You've got to know who it was you're talking to. This is why we're going to start talking about parallel media. This is why on the Rogers Raiders gaming site, we're going to run our own parallel crypto because crypto is not currency. I'm going to let people start paying in crypto, and how you get your crypto, that's your business. The fact that I accept crypto as currency in exchange for services, that's my business. Under IRS tax law, that's called barter. Okay? You cannot tax barter. So right now, you paid me in Bitcoin. As of today, I don't owe any taxes on it. That's barter. That means I can charge $2 and I don't have to give the government 65 cents of that $2. The Now, technically, when I move the money back to my bank, now I've turned it from property to cash. They can tax that. I'm not even arguing that they can't. They want to get in the taxing of you paying me in crypto. That's unconstitutional. Period. I don't even want to argue the Weasley little, but what if you did it this way? Unconstitutional is unconstitutional, and trying to figure out some fucking panty waste, candy ass method of taking someone's property because you got elected and you know how better to spend their money than they do, go fuck yourselves. I'm telling you, the left in this country, after a year of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, better stand in line and just bitch slap somebody that's daring to say, I want more of this. They know they have limited windows where the media covers their ass while they steal your property. But the media has kind of stopped playing ball, right? So you got to be careful with this shit. Moved to my state from California. Oh yeah, Austin. Well, Austin's a college town. Okay, so there's that. I I lived in California. I'll swear to God, there's more hippies in freaking Austin, Texas, than there ever is in L.A. The there, you guys are probably not old enough to remember, but California voted Republican. Ronald Reagan was the governor of California when he was a Democrat. That the most conservative man in politics for a half a century was the governor of California. That's what a Democrat used to mean. Democrats used to be a very conservative crowd. The only weird part of the Democratic Party was they were racist son of a bitches. The progressive movement inside the Democratic Party, the eugenics factor. How are we going to kill these useless eaters? There are too many people eating on the planet. They're a pollutant. You keep exhaling carbon dioxide. Well, we had this the cop shot in New York. Man, that wife's speech whew, chokes me up even thinking about her speech. But what do they want to do in New York? Well, it's a domestic dispute that got called into 911. They want to send social workers. I say do it. You know the best way to get rid of a law is to enforce it. If you enforce the stupid laws they pass, suddenly they don't want those laws no more. Well, same thing with policy. You want a social worker to show up to a husband and wife in the middle of a gunfight? Send them in. To me, that's going to solve two problems. The cops can show up later and draw a chalk outline around the frickin' social worker. Helps keep cops safe. I really, if I was the New York Police Department, I would wholeheartedly embrace it and make sure it's executed fully. Every time something that they indicate, somebody with mental illness, everything else, you're going to have so many social workers who suddenly want tasers and guns. And the New York police says, no, you're not going to get it because they control who gets guns. I would say, nope, you're social workers. The minute you get a taser and gun, you're a cop. I would allow them to have that policy and enforce it. I would make that social worker show up on scene. We'd have a shortage. I'm telling you, you really want to make these leftist policies go away, enforce them. Just enforce them. There's cop friendly towns. Uh, the man, the argument over voting rights is going over the news pundits' heads. They don't understand the last 100 years of the Democratic Party. They don't believe in anybody else's opinion but their own. That's a progressive. They're a dictatorship. They're radicals. So if you got the National Voting Act, which allowed mail-in ballots in all 50 states, you know what you don't need anymore? You don't need you don't need a Black Lives Matters to go round up vote. You don't need the lesbian and gay coalition to go round up votes. You're just going to fake the vote. The Democratic Party will no longer have to pretend that they give a shit about anybody. The only way that camp of dictators has survived in politics is by lying to small coalition groups that the Republicans are out to get them. They want to get in your bedroom. There are more gay men in politics on the Republican side than there is on the Democratic side. Because after the gay politician on the Democratic side gets elected, they go, "What the fuck did we elect this guy for?" I.e. Budapest. The guy in charge of building bridges and roads when he was the mayor never got a single pothole filled. But we put him in charge of the bridges and roads, and as soon as he got his budget for infrastructure, he says, "Well, we need equality bridges." No one can even figure out what the hell that means. For some reason, he's not going to build a bridge and road. Maybe that's why he never fixed a pothole when he was mayor of the town. He somehow found something else to do with the money other than what people voted to do with the damn money. And now he wants to be the mayor or the governor of Texas. There's no way in fucking hell Texans are going to vote him in. Texans like to drive 95 miles an hour, and they're not going to have any fucking potholes on the goddamn road. Well, that's not Buttigieg. That's I crossed my politicians here. Uh, who's the guy that running for against Abbott? Same idiot. He's the one that went down there and raised money to send Mexicans towards the border. Now you got Texas ranchers on the borders who are getting stabbed and shot in their sleep. Because when a gang comes through there, it's like, yeah, they just kill them. They just kill the people in the houses. We've had that problem down here on the border for decades. There's one particular house. My parents' house sits a little further off the highway than most people's do. But people started building their houses on the 285. And I never understood that. You live out in the middle of nowhere and you want to listen to traffic go by. Buy a piece of land 3 miles from the highway. But all the houses that are built where they butt up to the highway, there's been a lot of push-in, break-ins, and murder. I mean, we've had 2 families murdered because they just and stop for the night type shit, right? They just go in there, kill everybody, camp there for a week. The way it is. The house next door to me, I was kind of giggling about it. I had to go check. It's like, is somebody actually living there? No. They literally broke in and held a 5-year-old's birthday party in there last weekend. I didn't think somebody was living in there. I finally went out and I asked, I was like, because I'm thinking about buying that house next door just to keep people out of living in that house next door. Have a shortage. There's no shortage of social workers. Look, here's a problem with social workers and therapists and whatever other language you want to call them. The people who have mental health issues and go see a therapist or a psychiatrist typically want to become therapists and psychiatrists. There's some weird that's who becomes those people. So they already had a mental issue, and then they want to become the people that are curing everybody else's mental issue. You ever hear the phrase "therapists need therapy"? That's why that is. It's like a 90% rate of conversion from patient to doctor, and it's not a real doctor, no more than a chiropractor is. But they give you a certificate that says doctor on it. Or, I didn't know this, but podiatrists aren't doctors. They don't have to go to medical school. But we have a podiatrist because he has a doctorate running our emergency room down here at our local hospital. Once I found out the podiatrist, Beto O'Rourke, yeah, that's right. Beto's down there under bottom. He's like, well, I'm going to make sure we stop this border wall. Ain't nobody in Texas. The Mexicans that have gotten into Texas and are actual Mexicans. I'm not talking about skin color here. They want a border wall. They're tired. He's like, man, we've been here for 10 years. We don't want these freaking killers coming across. I mean, two things happens when you let this much illegal immigration in all at once. Any and all brown people who speak with an accent, their wages go down. You know why? Because one uneducated person is just like another uneducated person. They're not sending college grads across the border. The video that's out right now on the Border Patrol, where the agents are saying, hey, we've become luggage handlers. Matter of fact, there was a video where they showed up and literally checked their bags with one of the agents. They ought to show that one side by side with these agents being pissed off. They're luggage handlers. People are flying to the border, walking across, and have an Uber waiting to pick them up. So I think we could set up a tax system where it wouldn't matter. You could have an open border if you set up a proper tax system, but they don't want to do that. They want control over tax dollars so they can determine who's impoverished and who's not. But this is one of the reasons I like crypto. If crypto is me responsible for my banking, it is what it is, right? My money's my money. Your money's your money. Don't be, back in when the turn of the century, taxes were only 3%, 4%, and the country was doing well. This is the problem I have with you guys really aren't going to get this name that's stuck in my head. The trickle down guy under Reagan. The Laffer curve. Art Laffer. All right, I found it in my head. Okay. The Art Laffer curve. If I reduce taxes, we collect the same amount of money at the lower tax rate that we do at the high tax rate that the Democrats want. In fact, they typically collect more taxes when they lower taxes. So when Trump lowered the tax rate, the government got more taxes. All right. But you have to have a very high tax rate to force a company to bribe your ass for a tax deduction. See why the Democrats want a higher tax rate? When it's low, no need to donate to the Democratic Party. No need to buy a vote in Congress. So that's what the truism of the tax thing is. And the Republican, there's lots of Republicans who love that system as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not picking a favorite on that one. But the Art Laffer curve always misses one point. Why do I want the government to have more money? Yes, if I lower it from 45% to 20%, the government has more money. That's money removed from the economy and given to the government. So shouldn't I keep lowering it until the government has less? And then cut government spending, because now the economy's booming so much, they don't need a government job anymore. Remember the Clinton days of, well, we gotta pay people $90,000 to sweep streets. We need them top quality workers. We're competing against the private sector. the government should never be competing against the private sector. If I want somebody to pick up my trash and sweep my streets, I I'll hire them. It's cheaper. I will get with 20 of my neighbors. We'll go out and buy a freaking trash truck. The only thing I want to pay a taxes on is a place for that trash truck to be emptied. The uh, the reality is, if you ever did the math on how much they charge you for your trash pickup to how much it costs to do trash pickup, you'll realize that just picking up your trash, they make a 900% profit. The Suddenly the garbage is the garbage, right? The garbage is the garbage we're dealing with. That's what they got to hide. I think if I was going in there, I would eliminate every one of the one you can't as a president you can't go in there and change laws and you can't create new ones with executive orders, but you can clarify and you can change procedural stuff. And one of the things I would change is I would make it so that no federal employee had their taxes withheld from their check. That they have to file their taxes at the end of the year and pay what they owe. Because that's the way it used to be prior to the 1960s. One of the biggest disservices we ever did to the American citizen was take a little bit of money out of your check so that you only spent what you had left. Making you plan ahead stole your desire for knowledge on why you're paying for something. Because when you have to if you make $30,000 a year and you owe $8,000 to the federal government, the day you write that $8,000 check, you're mad. Wait a minute. What do they mean they want shrimp on a treadmill? Fuck them guys. You know, all of a sudden you're looking around for a different party. The bit rate is 0. That's all good. All right. Oh, what do we do so far? I ain't even looked at analytics. I just don't care. The viewer activity centers. Man, we done good on the stream health today. All right. For all those, we have 177 people. This was a bad time of day, I guess, for stream. I bet you if I stuck with it for another hour and a half, we'd jump up to 30, 40 people per minute coming in on the live portion. But where I would get those people, we wouldn't be talking about American politics no more. So the talk about Aussie politics. I haven't read my Aussie politics lately. I used to do that. That's why I had a big Aussie audience. But you guys are kidnapping tennis players right now. I I for the life of me cannot figure out why there is not. Okay, there's no reason the guy shouldn't be able to play. He's already there in the country. Uh, Somebody said, "Hey, I got the hookup. You can come in the country." Go arrest that asshole. Uh, the This doesn't seem as complicated to me on this tennis. There's something else going on that I just don't give a fuck about tennis. So, but the who was it? Uh, One of the British comics got stuck in New Zealand, and they let an exception for him to do comedy, do big shows while he was there, and wound up having a great summer during the lockdown where they did that stuff, and they went back to England. Finally, England's out of lockdowns, right? Because everybody's realized it didn't matter. Here's a statistic you'll never hear a left wing news story talk about. The number of people who died during the COVID pandemic was the fewer than the number of people who just died before we ever had this thing called a pandemic. The the death toll numbers they throw out are the death toll numbers, but it's less than what it was before they started. They had one singular disease to focus on. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be. And I'm watching everybody talk about how it's not a big deal. No one's dying from it. To the next reporter says it's gonna be the biggest death toll in the history of a disease. And everybody's like, yeah, apparently it doesn't do anything, so we're just done with you guys. We're done with this crap. It's all the areas that they weren't masking and they went natural immunity. Those guys, like I said, I got 3 people with COVID in the house. I walked around without a mask for 2 years with a chest disease. I'm the only one not sick in my house right now. the That's anecdotal. That's not medical things. I'm just saying. The but I've got habits that I think that the corona stuff has done good for. Wash your damn hands. I wash my hands. The I I've got spray for cleaning keyboards and computer monitors. So people used to come in the store all right. And for me talking to the customer interface, I did a face-to-face interface for 7 years, right? Well, 20 years with the multiple stores. So, but when people came into the computer store and brought in their laptop, they'd see me. I'd open it up before I even turned it on. I sprayed the keyboard with this spray and cleaned the screen and cleaned the keyboard. And people would ask me, I was like, well, why are you cleaning it before you even look at it? I said, because people pick their nose, they pick their ass, and they touch their keyboards. And that's just what it is. I don't know what kind of nasty son of a bitch you are in your own damn house. So I have habits to clean things. You know, I don't. I'm not a germaphobe. The but I wash my hands when I go into the bathroom and when I leave. Because whatever I touched out in the store, I don't want to touch my dick with. It's a simple, it's a simple math problem. The that that relationship is very precious to me, and I don't want to disrupt it with some foreign cooties. The It's like I get a massage twice a month. I won't go to one of them cheapy Asian fucking places because I I don't trust that they clean that place that good enough. Not that I got a problem with it. I'd love the cheaper massage, but fuck, I just don't like it. I just Oil's a good conduit for disease. Yeah, we've got so many of these Chinese sex shop massage parlor things down here in southern New Mexico now. It's insane. The it's While they're turning around legalizing drugs on the corner, legalizing crypto ATMs and things for sending stuff back to China and Mexico. We got the Chinese on the southern side of the border handing the drugs to the Mexican cartels to infiltrate the United States. The I'm telling you, when the next war comes, it's the news producer in the van that needs to get shot first. That's what's going to happen. Otherwise, you're not going to know where you're going and who you're up against because there's no truth coming out. It's hard to get this stuff out. This kind of stuff will get me banned from YouTube simply because I'm like Dan Bongino. I don't give a shit. Truth is truth. I'm just talking about what I'm witnessing. I'm not telling anybody what to think. I'll leave that to the Democrats. That's their job, to tell you what to think, right? All right. So I started. Uh, any questions before I goes, guys? I'll leave I'm gonna put my 30-second delay on there. My mouse back. I appreciate you guys coming in here today. I'm going to try and set a schedule for lives. I've been leery about doing it, but I'm going to try and set a schedule for it. Uh, anytime you pick a schedule, you're isolating somebody else. It ain't no different than scheduling gates inside your damn thing. No time is good for everybody. But you know what's funny? I get more live viewers during the week than I do during the weekends. But people will pull this up on a podcast and watch it all week long or listen to it all week long. Yeah. I was hoping this year to start to get to where I had guests in the studio so that we can talk about some of the changes that's happening to gaming out there, so that you're not just sitting on your couch blindly. What kind of platform is my channel now? What do you mean by platform is my channel now? I don't understand, Brandon. Oh, you know what? Remind me, because one of the things I did, Ilion's talking about getting into Roswell. I am going to do a whole thing on some Roswell missing information because that UFO stuff came out a couple years ago. I have dropped off at the jewelers last week a silver platter from the general that took charge of the Roswell crash. Oh, I did. I'm not anything I want it to be, Brandon. This is the Gunmuse channel. Yeah. You hadn't been listening. We hadn't talked about GOG in an hour. Look, GOG has international politics taking place, and therefore I can use the game as a reference point to what you're seeing in the news. Basically, whatever interests me. But like Brandon was talking about the Roswell stuff, I've got a platter by the Roswell General, and I'm going to go and over some of the history that I've been able to dig up, and I'm going to propose some questions uh, on the questions that no one asked during the Roswell incident. And you guys are going to understand what it is that I'm talking about on that one. So, like, you know, if it was a weather balloon, who called the fire department because a 3-foot balloon crashed in the middle of the desert? Shouldn't there have been a fireball or the land on fire? That's why people call the fire department. It was the Army's Air Force, the Army's fire department that got called out there. They said, well, the Army showed up. The colonel in charge of the Army's fire department is more than qualified to pick a weather balloon up. That's the guy that's in the picture holding the weather balloon. He's more than qualified to that. But what the Army did, and some of the stuff is now, we've got some Freedom of Information Act coming out with this stuff. The Army activated a 3-star general who was retired to take control of the situation. And I have his silver platter that they awarded him in the 1960s at the jewelers right now being cleaned. I had this thing in my closet for 20 years. I had no clue that general was involved with the Roswell incident because it just said, U.S. General 3-star in the reserves. So he's always an active reservist. That's what it said on the platter, and I thought, who gives a shit about a damn Army Reserve guy? I had no clue about the history sitting in my closet. So I'm getting it cleaned before I put it on film. So there's going to be some. We'll go down a rabbit hole. We'll just go down it randomly. I'm going to show how hard it is to actually dig up real information on there because, I live down here next to Roswell, right? And let me tell you what the real deal with Roswell is. It's a way to sell T-shirts. Okay, that's the people who run the Roswell Alien Museums are T-shirt shops. They put the word museum instead of T-shirt shop on the outside of it. When I walked in with a piece of history to the Roswell crash, they didn't give a fuck, including this guy's granddaughter who runs one of the museums. I said, I happen to have your grandpa's silver platter. She didn't give a shit. She didn't see how it was going to sell another T-shirt, so she didn't give a damn. Just weird. Win the pass. What's the pass? New game. How can I win the pass? I don't know what you're saying there, Yonix. And you got a name that it's like you're organizing social media accounts. Yeah. Are you a member of the Fun Plus marketing team? You're asking me about something that I don't even think's in the game yet. In the copy paste. Yonix, do you speak English? Yeah, I tried to sell it because it's got a lot of silver in it. I mean, it's got a good $1,200-1,300 worth of silver if you melted it down in the damn thing. So there's people out there that would have bought it to melt it down. There's people out there that would have bought it because it's a military historical artifact, and now it's got a Roswell alien tie to the artifact. So there's like 3 people that would collect these things, and this platter built in the 1960s as an antique is worth $4,800. Just this platter. If it didn't have any of this other stuff to it, it'd be worth $4,800. And it scares the shit out of people. You know, you have to want something to talk about to buy it. The I'd sell it at a huge discount to somebody that would not melt it down. The but at the same time, you sell it to somebody at a huge discount, the odds are they are going to melt it down. Well, that's how I got that thing. That platter, when I had the gun store, they had an estate sale when he died when his wife died to clean out the house. They held an auction. The kids did. The grand the kids and the grandkids held an auction. They threw real $4,000 or $5,000 silver stuff into a box, and one of my customers bought it for $30. Come in and traded me for a case of shells, which was worth like $150. So he made out good in his mind. And then if I melted it down for the silver alone right now, it'd be worth, $1,500, $1,600 just in silver. Yeah. But I'm not going to do that. When is the kingdom migration? The kingdom migration is going kingdom by kingdom, so I don't know. Depends on which kingdom set of kingdoms you're in. I don't know. I have no clue what's going on there. Somebody will tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, the 500s are ready," and then I'll care. I didn't do the blast out today, but when you guys see like I have like 150 to 200 live people, that's because I blast out to non-English speaking people. You ever wonder why sometimes we get 200 live viewers in there? That's why. I've got you guys know about I got the cell phone number thing that I do from Rogers Raiders. That goes worldwide, and it's almost 40,000 people get a text message from me now, and it's the reality is people from foreign countries. Google doesn't pay me the ad money for them, so it really does. It's not worth spending to send out that text. Cost me about $650 now, and it's just not worth it. I don't get the money back. Okay, so the creator of this platter, where the people who created the platter is dead center. They were so proud of it, it wasn't hidden on the bottom. It's dead center on the top of the platter, right? That's why it's a very high quality platter. I mean, these people are proud. They put their names on it so that other people know, like, oh, you got good shit. So they bought one of these platters and then they stuck a plating over it to give it as an award. And so they've covered that emblem. The So if I want to increase the value of the platter, I pry up the historical value of the platter. so it exposes the trademark. It's a catch-22. Who's going to destroy it and for what reason to make it valuable? But because it's the only tie to questions that were not asked in the media, me being a media type guy and a press type guy, that no one asked these very simple questions in 1951. Like, who called the fire department for a balloon? They don't crash in big fiery balls. Uh, it, the platter is the existence of a media cover-up. It's the little real world link that no one asked, no one cared to ask. Everybody shut the hell up. You know, it could have been, but at the end of the day, it could have been an Air Force crash. It wasn't an Air Force back then, or U.S. Army Air Force. It could have been a plane crash. There could have been no alien there, but and they wanted to let the Germans think that we had aliens, and the Russians think that we had aliens. That's what it could have been. But all the platter is the existence that no one dug deeper into. Wait a minute, balloons don't explode in a big fiery crash. No one calls. No rancher is so dumb that when he's riding out in his field that he sees a balloon that he runs back to town on his horse and calls the cops. They're not that dumb. If he sees something shiny flickering in the sun, he moseys his horse over to it and takes a look. And then if it's a lightweight little balloon, he picks it up and puts it in his saddlebag and takes it into town thinking, hey, maybe they want this back. They don't call the fire department. See, this is why you got to use deductive reasoning. What did happen versus what didn't happen. What didn't happen was he didn't throw it in his saddlebags and mosey it into town because it had folded up and set in his saddlebags. Yeah. Yeah, no one's told me either, Norm. Oh, Guns of Glory does a really good job, or Google does a really good job for stopping cross-country payments. Um, I would suggest, shit. Do you have Amazon in Argentina? Download the Amazon version of the app to your phone and install the Amazon version and see if that gets you around your problem. Google is conspiring with China. Not that Amazon doesn't, but Amazon's like a pawn shop for China. Google's like the freaking enforcer. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get into the alien stuff the next time. We'll do a lot with it. But I'd like the so the people that read back the stuff, I'd like to have the platter for film. That doesn't sound like I'm making shit up. You get into all the stuff I talk about. It sounds like fortunately for me, I've got proof of what I say usually, and uh, you know, sadly, I've got to prove it because there's too many people out in the world who doesn't think you can't do things. Uh, they don't go out to their house and get things accomplished. Therefore, no one else can either. Uh, so that's where we're gonna. We fight that here. Yeah, that's what my channel. We fight the common thinking. Yeah. Brandon, are you a subscriber? Everybody hit subscribe right now. If they're not a subscriber, don't hit unsubscribe. Yeah, I'm trying to get to that 10,000 number. I got 1,300 to go. Uh, what's sad is I'm trying to get to that 10,000 number and subscriber. At the same time, I'm working on getting my video off of YouTube. Yeah, that's going to be the epic mountain I'm going to climb is to move this media to a different deal. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate it. I'll set up a schedule. I'll try to put some of it in the description. Join the Discord channel. It's in the description. Hold on, I will throw it up in the chat for the people up in the chat who aren't in there. Can't even spell my own website. There's that. Yeah. Do I know some? No tiene carta verde. I know some Spanish. No tiene carta verde, la migra. Most of my Spanish words are for arresting people. We used to do bounty hunting. Most of my Arabic language words is for shut up before I shoot you, you know, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. International man. I know several languages how to don't move or I'll blow your head off. Oh, that's how that works. Yeah. Yeah. Go into Discord. There are if you're having problems, you know, go into Discord, into the Guns of Glory thing in there, and ask, and that way you can do screenshots with the problems that you're having. Your Facebook changes it. Man, I'm telling you, that's something to do with these smart apps on these phones. I can't remember what my wife was talking about on Facebook because we've got a Facebook channel for Rogers Raiders, but I'm not even streaming to it anymore. Facebook is worthless. There is no business advantage in Facebook whatsoever. It doesn't cost me a dime to stream to it, and I could take the approach that I'm bringing a couple 20, 30, 40 visitors to that video over there. But at the end of the day, I don't want Facebook using my stats to tell somebody else that they work. And when I try to fix logins and tracking systems with Facebook, they'll just shut me off because they updated their security without telling me before they do it. And so I'm down for a couple days for people using Facebook logins. And I don't like that. They don't comprehend a proper business relationship. I'm letting my traffic talk to your Facebook platform via me. Have the courtesy to not freaking tell them that my shit's broken when you updated your shit. My shit didn't break. Facebook broke my shit. There's a difference. I don't ever go in and change it. I don't tweak on it. I don't touch on it. It's usually always when there's a security update. And every 8 months or a year or so, I got to go in there and recode something. I'd hope to get to a point where I got people whose that's job to do that on a schedule, but we're not there yet. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even do that. I don't care about social stuff. I really don't. LinkedIn I use more than anything, but I don't like using LinkedIn anymore. It became Facebook for people with too much time at their hands at work. Yeah. When I had 3,800 people following me on LinkedIn, I had a good LinkedIn following. People were now there's like 6,500, 7,000 people following me over there, and I get so much crap suggested to me. It's garbage. It's a waste of my. So I don't log into LinkedIn anymore because LinkedIn didn't control their shit. I used to be on it all the time. Used to leave the notifications on my phone in case somebody wanted to get in touch with me with me there, and it turned into shit. And then plus in the gaming world, man, there is just way too many people who feel too comfortable about contacting me via Messenger and Facebook because they can't figure out how to play their game. I'm not getting paid for that. I don't get paid for any of that. If Guns of Glory truly built an influencer program, I would probably respond to more than that. But they don't have one. They would build some type of system and understand that you kind of dumped your tech support onto me, and it doesn't mean I have to be nice about your game. That's how I can take $100 million from you in a month. I just stopped doing tech support. End of story. Facebook creator. First of all, Facebook was built off a platform called Firebase Software, and me and my partner Kevin Adolph built that platform. How he used that software is what became Facebook. I was one of the first people on Facebook. Yeah, my friend goes, "Have you seen this Facebook?" When that stuff was starting, I was like, "Have you seen this Facebook thing?" It's completely different than it was back then. But there was lots of platforms like our Firebase software. There was 𝙂𝙪𝙣 and uh, oh my God, any one of the content management systems. We developed a content management system that was designed around what we were building, and it was so clean and so fast that Facebook copied it and WordPress copied it. WordPress took it. It was open source. Anybody can copy it. I mean, I'm not saying that they owe me a royalty, but if you want to donate one, I'd be happy. It was clean, simple, and fast. It talked to the server hardware better, because computer programmers don't know how computers work. The uh, the I understood the hardware. My partner Kevin Adolph, he understood the software, and we argued all the freaking time. But we built a damn good product. We still use it. Matter of fact, the old original Firebase software that we built almost 20 plus years ago, I'm bringing it back to Rogers Raiders and Idle Tools. It's still so fast and so secure that I'm bringing it back. The Because I got lazy over years using other people's content management system because we don't want to do development. But then I've also gotten so big with people who like to attack and destroy things, i.e. gamers, that I need more, and not just gamers, but China itself. I need a better layer of security that's more in line with what my gun stuff was. So that's why we're bringing back software that I just as easily would have let go, because it doesn't make me money using it. It just prevents me from having losses using it. But the losses can now be so big. Oh, GOG, yeah, that's what the marketing companies do. They come in here and ask me questions about stuff that I don't know shit about. Yeah, yeah, that's been par for the course for years. Yeah, it's this is part of me being me, where I get bored. I'll go work a job for 2 years at a high end job because they'll hire me on as a what if, and then I'll excel at it till I'm an expertise in that area, and then I'm bored because it's no longer a challenge. I'm not learning anything. I'm not growing, and then so I got this Ben Franklin set of skills, right? I think it's what it says on my Twitter account. Modern day Ben Franklin. I invent all kinds of shit. I do all kinds of things. Because all it's got to do is challenge me a little bit, and I want to go do it. The I've been retired for forever, disabled for since 2011. I even tried to go back to work and disabled out in the oil fields, and that it didn't last long. The Once I started stumbling around in gravel pits, it was like, hey, you're a hazard. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I'd love to go sit in a damn oil field house. I can't go up on the docks, but whatever job that you've got to be able to climb the platform, and I can't. The But I could do everything else about the job except climb the platform. And the a mud logger makes $35,000-$40,000 a month. Not a mud measure while drilling guys does. Mud loggers too. The It's just data collection. Yeah, it's somewhat boring, but in a 12-hour shift, you only work like 45, 50 minutes, which means during the other 11 hours, you can do whatever the hell else you want. MWDs is measure while drilling, what they call us movie watching dudes. Because anytime you walk in the shack, we're under the air conditioner, sitting in a damn Barca lounger, freaking watching HBO, right? The uh, the now the days that the bandwidth on cell phones is getting better out in the middle of nowhere, you know, you can watch more stuff out there. But that's not either there nor. I don't force the following. When they want the following, this is something they don't get. I don't force the following. Uh, I'm going to have to make a change because of damn the banking laws that Biden put in. I'm going to have to make a change to how I structure the logins, and I don't like it. So I'm going to try and figure out. I'm going to keep thinking on the problem until I make the problem either a long-term solution where I just throw away the money because you guys don't own the crypto and aren't going to buy it. It's too much trouble because I know that'll happen if I turn around and make it. Ergo has offered to help me build my own fork of Ergo so that I own my own crypto. And if I do that route, I then have to train the market to do that route. Good for them, bad for me. I'm working for free training somebody else again. Uh, so I'm trying to decide what the value and what I'm going to do is. It's the there's a fifth route that I hadn't even thought to consider. It's like I could just sell the damn company, make it somebody else's problem. The Make it somebody else's damn problem to deal with. Yeah, but I enjoy doing the lives, so I like pushback. I like people who argue with me because if I don't get pushback, then I don't know if I'm going on the right path. You know, you don't want a bunch of yes men around you. That's a terrible way to build a company. Everybody telling you how great you're doing. Yeah. All right. I am ending this stream, guys. I said so almost